Episode 205.
It used to be that people were in our waiting room and looking at their watch going, is my car ready? And now we pull their car out. We walk over and have a finishing conversation and let them know their car's ready. And they're engaged in their work, or they've met somebody and they're like, do I have to leave right now?
Welcome, aftermarketers, to Remarkable Results Radio. Listen to learn just one thing from today's episode on your journey to remarkable results. Welcome, aftermarket professionals, to Remarkable Results Radio and to episode 205 with Kris Munro. I'm Carm Capriato, and I'm fundamentally changing the behavior of how aftermarket professionals get their information, training, insights, and strategies. And we do it twice per week, along with a live show every Friday at noon Eastern. Now, the episode is made possible through the sponsorship of Federal Mogul Motor Parts and Garage Gurus. For serious technical training and support, online, on-site, and on-demand, Garage Gurus is everything you need to know. Find out more at fmgaragegurus.com. Hey, have you downloaded the new Remarkable Results Radio app on your smart device? Well, it's free for Apple and Android. You get instant access to every episode at your fingertips to enjoy a whole new easy way to connect and learn with every episode. You can find this week's show notes with Kris Munro at remarkableresults.biz/E205. Hey, are you on board with the weekly Town Hall Live show? Well, if you want a sizable dose of information on a single subject, then this is the venue for you. The Town Hall Live Forum is every Friday at 12 noon Eastern. Now, there are two ways to watch the live show, on the Zoom webinar or on Facebook. Now, you get both venues at remarkableresults.biz/live. Sign up just once to be in the audience each week, or find the Facebook Live button on the site and subscribe to my Facebook page. And if you missed any Town Hall Live show, now there is an archive built on the website. You'll be extremely impressed with the quality of these forums. Watch them like a documentary and learn like a seminar. Now, I promise your time will be well spent. Each week is a single subject discussed by your industry peers. Hey, I love it when you connect with me on Facebook like Brian Wilkinson, Bill Hill, Adam Gash, and Rich Neighbor. And in my new LinkedIn connections, Daniel Farr, Katrina Carrasco, and Jeff Hogue. Hey, don't forget to write me with ideas for a show or a guest request. My email is carm@remarkableresults.biz. That's B-I-Z. Now meet Kris Munro from Monroe Tire in Shelby, North Carolina. Kris is a second-generation business owner with a balance of tire and automotive service for 30 years. He's passionate about our industry and the future as technology changes the landscape. In this episode, we talk about his dad's start back in the 70s right up to his brand new driver's lounge. It's a 2,800 square foot amenity that he's created for customer comfort. See the show notes for a video tour. We also talk networking, the need for an industry-wide dialogue on profitability, why business culture goals are as important as financial goals, and also how he looks at his showroom. He calls it his tile space as a laboratory to learn about your customer. Now here we go with Kris Munro. Hey, real nice to be with Kris Munro from Monroe Tire and Service in Shelby, North Carolina. Hey, Kris.
Hey, Carm. Good morning. Great to be with you today.
Good morning. Hey, I'm so excited to learn about your company. Very interesting, very interesting. You're doing an awful lot of great stuff, but take me back to the beginning in 1974 when Dad started the business.
Well, I was 10 and pumping gas at 48 cents a gallon. Trying to clean windshields, I couldn't reach the top, and I was streaking them terribly bad. So I got a quick lesson in windshield washing.
But wait a minute. I remember those real long sticks. Did you have a long stick on that squeegee?
Dude, we were so poor. It was all we could do to pay the rent.
Wow, so Dad started really in a bootstrap, huh?
Oh, man. Yeah. 1974, the oil embargo, nobody could get a loan. My dad had no money. The banks wouldn't loan him any money. So, yeah, he had a friend about 30 miles away that he knew from the wholesale days. And he just said, hey, come get what you need, sell it, and pay me when you get them sold.
Okay, 10 years old. You seem to have incredible memories for just a young kid.
Yes. Yes.
You know, what's so interesting is that you and I are both SOBs. You know what that means?
No, I do, but
Son of boss.
oh yeah.
Son
Yeah.
of boss. And I grew up in that same environment.
Did you really?
Yeah, the business was, a block away. The school I went to was across the street. I'd come home ready to do a pickup baseball game or whatever. The phone would ring and Dad would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I say, "We're going to go, have a ball game at the school right across the street." He goes, "No, you're not. Ride down. You're going to sweep floors, pull orders," or whatever it was that I was going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Very early indoctrination to commitment.
Yes. My parents both worked in the business, and their work ethic was very strong. And so, yeah, I was around the service station, which then became the tire store. I was cutting grass at 12 and changing tires at 14.
So interesting is that, we were in the tire business too. I probably never shared that with you. And I, of course, am in Buffalo. And back in the studded tire days, you should have seen what I did after school with that manual tire studder. Oh.
So you're saying you're a stud, Carm? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I did have a lot of fun with that back in the day, yes. I'm not sure I quite lived up to that. So you went to college. Did you join the business soon after?
I did. Worked through high school, went to community college. Wasn't really sure I wanted to pursue the 4-year. Decided I need to get away from the business, from the parents being an only child. Stepped out, got about 3 hours away, went to East Tennessee State, and came back, moved to Charlotte for about a year. And 87, my dad was like, I've got a buyer for the business, or you can come in and try to fill these shoes. But he says, I'm done. And he was just flat, burnt out. And so, I jumped in 1987, and man, I'll tell you, it was a dogfight.
So explain to me a dogfight. Was it that you just could never live up to Dad's expectations?
Yeah. That was a big part of it. I never, I think being an only child, I think we all have that, we all fight that. But, I had my way of things that I wanted to do and grow the business. I recognized some things that needed to change. So we had several long conversations about that. And he slowly started letting the line out, letting me make some calls, do some things. And so it took a few years, but it started going.
Did you have to beg for that level of responsibility to help yourself fail forward? And, a lot of dads just don't want you to fail because they believe their, incredible years of wisdom will prevent failure. But that is, then you never really stretch. You never really grow.
Oh yeah, it's his baby. Was his. He molded it, and it was what he made it. He didn't want to lose it. And so, interestingly enough, as I continued to make some investments and do some things with the business to grow it, he would always go in the shop to one key employee, and he would complain to him about, I don't think we need to do this. And the employee would say, yeah, I think it's going to be all right. And the employee would come to me and go, hey, this is going to be a good thing because your dad's complaining about it. And I said, so that became the litmus test of if we were making good decisions. If my dad went to him and bitched about it, then we knew it was good.
Oh boy, I am so in relation to what's going on. So tell me, what was the first big thing you did? When you got that. I'm not sure if it was you became the president or you became in charge, but what was one of the first big things?
We brought custom wheels into the business in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was before internet and radio shops got into the wheel business. And so we were able to, in about 6 years, add about $250,000 in gross sales just in custom wheels. And it took me a while for him to come around to that, but he started seeing these numbers work, and it made sense. And then the next thing is we got into alignments, which we were way behind the ball. 92, we've been in business since 74, a tire shop that didn't do alignments. Come on. 92. That's when we started. So that became kind of, I guess, my dog on the fire hydrant. That's where I made my mark.
Had you noticed that since 1987 that you weren't doing alignments?
Oh yeah. It was a struggle, ongoing conversation. We need to do these things. And
was it the equipment purchase? Help me understand where that, say, Dad did not want that to happen. What was his reasoning?
He was afraid that if he got into doing alignments and there was a problem with the alignment, then he sold the tire and the alignment. And so he did not want to be in front of that.
He owned it. He owned that whole thing. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, he owned the whole thing, and I wanted that. I wanted that complete. I wanted that responsibility, and so that was a difference between he and I on that. It wasn't the equipment purchase. It was just stepping out there. And my dad, interestingly enough, was not mechanically inclined at all. He couldn't use a pair of pliers. Bless his heart. He passed away in 2007, but he never changed a tire. He never changed a spare tire, and he's in the tire business. He knew nothing about the mechanics of it. So quite honestly, that intimidated him.
So I call him an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
I mean, you take an idea, you don't know what you have no intentions of really being the technician inside the business. You just want to pull all the levers up here.
That's right. And, he was a people person, and he loved people, and he had to survive. He was a survivor too. I think he called himself more of a survivor than he did an entrepreneur.
Got it.
I agree with you.
Who do you take after, mom or dad?
Oh man, I think there's a good balance.
Combination, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was a hard charger, and he said what was on his mind, and he had no frontal lobe, and I got a piece of that. My mom a little more calculated, so I've got some of that too. But yeah. Yeah, I'm a good mix, but that's probably my biggest weakness in customer services. I'm what you see is what you get, and I was just on a panel last weekend, and there were 4 guys up there. We all are kind of in the same business, and the question come up: is the customer always right? And everybody on the panel said, yes, the customer's always right, and they justified it. It got down to me, and I said, no, the customer's not always right. It's there's education that needs to happen in those relationships, and sometimes it's you have to draw some lines in the sand. Not every customer is your customer. So
what you're saying is everyone who drives across the front of Monroe Tire Service, you don't necessarily want.
Exactly. I mean, we want to always give that relationship a chance, but we know pretty quick, and I think they do too, where the fit is. And after 43 years of doing this, I think you become a little better at it. But that being said, the consumer is changing very rapidly, and it just evolves. So we continue to move those boundaries around.
Did you ever fire a customer?
Yes. Yeah. That's probably something I do pretty regularly. There comes a time when it's not good for either party. And, so we try to do that in a nice way.
I'm talking with Anthony Frohine, a technical product specialist with Federal Mogul Motor Parts. What are the techs saying about your visit?
Every single time that I set up a training, I try to position the van inside the shop. You're part of their house at that point. Whenever you set aside that time, you tell them that you're coming in, you're providing a lunch, and you're really bringing something of meat and value to the table. Once they get a taste of it, really, by the time you're done, they're asking, when can you come back?
When can you come back? Or, hey, what else you got in your bag of tricks?
Exactly.
So the greatest outcome of your visit to a professional shop
is just to really make a difference in their everyday procedures to maximize the premium end of the product that's being installed. But ultimately, for me being an ex-shop owner as well, is to maximize their profitability in installing the part right the first time and having a happy customer. I always say a happy customer is like a happy wife. Happy wife, happy life. Same thing goes with the customer.
I've heard that before. So you take a Wagner OEX pad and you put it into the hands of a technician. What happens?
First off, they're floored with the cut design on the front end. They'd never seen a brake pad like this before. And then you start to break it down into why it's cut the way it is and how it's application or platform specific, how the backing plates are no longer painted, they're zinc coated, and that's for tolerance level, so that way you don't have buildup on the ears and fitting into the hardware. I mean, you get into all the little nuances that they've changed around with that brake pad on top of the performance end of it. I mean, it's phenomenal. And then once they physically try the brake pad either on a customer's car or their own vehicle, I've heard nothing but rave reviews about the brake pad.
Federal Mogul Motor Parts' Garage Gurus is your go-to source for the vehicle training, technology, and answers you need to keep your next job on track. On site, online, or on demand, the Gurus are here to help keep your business and your career on the road to success. Visit fmgarageguru.com. So fixing up the business, you and I chatted, I think it was in 2004, you did some major renovations?
Yes. We decided to basically redo the whole showroom entrance to the building, and we spent as much on that renovation and creating a small waiting area in the building. We spent as much on that renovation as we purchased the building for in the late 70s. It was major. But Carm, I'll tell you, changing the counter space and the flooring and the waiting area, that was an immediate transition. So like we had this paneled old style counter that my great uncle had built, and it had these big white CRT screens on it. And we rolled that out and rolled in this new high-tech looking counter with tile floors, and it was just amazing. Just the way people treated us the next day. It was almost instant gratification or instant respect. But it was scary to do it, but it really changed the face of our business.
Tell me about your new waiting room. I've seen the 360-degree tour. Wow.
Thanks. This building next to us had been vacant for about 5 years. It had been a rental center and just become pretty much dilapidated, and had been on the market for a long time. Every time I'd go get in my truck, I would look at this thing and go, I should buy this and do something with it. And then I was like, no, I've got enough on my plate. So anyway, April 2015, I made an offer that the owners took me up on. Okay. And I had been looking at several really nice repair facilities across the country that had invested in the customer waiting experience. Mm-hmm. Flying back from Vegas, SEMA show 2014, I believe it was, I popped into the Centurion Lounge, American Express and Centurion Lounge in the airport. And that whole decor in there inspired the look, that the woods and the contemporary and whatnot. So we bought it in April, and it was like a week later I was scraping up old carpet, and we started the renovation. Opened it up in October.
So you call it the Driver's Lounge?
Yes.
Is that a public naming, or is that just an internal?
It's we ask our customers, our clients, as they come in. We know the people that have been in, that have visited us, and we have a code on the door. Have you been to our Driver's Lounge? No, I haven't. So, well, the code to get in is so-and-so, and the door stays locked. It has a keypad to enter, and it's 2,800 square feet, 6 different sitting areas, coffee bar, has a full-size kitchen, has a full kids' playroom, has a live edge bar that they can plug in and work and look outside, has a conference room, has a private office, 2 really nice bathrooms, handicap accessible, baby changing station. We did it right. And it used to be that people were in our waiting room and looking at their watch going, is my car ready? And now we pull their car out. We walk over and have a finishing conversation and letting them know their car's ready and they're engaged in their work, or they've met somebody and they're like, do I have to leave right now? And we're like, no, you're fine. You can stay. We even have some customers that call their friends and they meet there and have coffee and while their car's getting serviced. So it's an interesting dynamic. It plays out every day. It's a really anybody that's listening and contemplating creating a driver's lounge, a waiting space, a workspace. It's a great investment in the business.
What's it meant to your business?
Well, I think the ease of attraction. We have a lot of female customers, and it's a very comfortable place for them to come and relax. I've had so many men say, "This is the perfect place for my wife to be." I don't have any hesitancy of her bringing the car in. She's got a nice, clean place to wait, and she's not around a bunch of people she doesn't want to be around. So that's 2,800 square feet for our size business for a waiting room. Yeah, it's overkill, but that's the card I was dealt. That's the size of the building, but it has enough space to where people can spread out. And, we have 6 to 12 people in there all the time, and it's fun. It's fun.
Kris, you said you were on a panel last weekend. What was the event?
It was a North Carolina Tire Dealer Association trade show. We have an annual trade show held in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I've been a part of the board multiple times over the past 15 years, and great experience. So we have Saturday morning seminars, and we had a speaker there that spoke to phone skills and just an overall package on customer service. And then the panel consisted of four dealers, modeled after the SEMA Successful Tire Dealers at 2. I served on that panel in November, and so that's where the idea sprang from. It was a great experience in Las Vegas, and I became a fill-in for someone that couldn't make the show, and I was asked at the last minute to do it, and I was like, yeah, I'm excited to do it. That'd be great. And the questions and the comments, much like your town hall, that just kind of go back and forth with 100 people in the room. A lot of fun. I mean, there's so much to take away. Now, as a panelist, it may be really hard for you to, take notes and learn from it. But give me a couple of takeaways from this past weekend. There's so much experience in the audience. You're on the panel. Okay, you're on the panel, big deal. But the true experience is in the audience, and this collective power of back and forth. That's where it's at. I mean, everybody has a story. Everybody has something to share. That's why your podcast is awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
I was down to Road Atlanta this past weekend to see a friend race, and 3 hours there, 3 hours back. I had you in my ear listening to all the new stuff that had come out, and really, this is. I think it was said in the 200th episode, talking about holding the cards close. I think you and I have had that conversation. This industry has just been so tight-lipped, and somebody else said the uncorking, and it's just this is panels, this type thing. This is where it's at,
Well, thanks. It makes me feel good that what we're doing is being appreciated. Now, all of your work in philanthropy, I'm so impressed with what you're doing in your local community to promote automotive technology. Talk to me about that.
Thanks. Real excited to be a part of the NATEF advisory board at our local high school, Crest High School. We have 4 high schools in the county, and I was invited to be a part of that probably 10 or 11 years ago, and it's evolved into something that I guess I kind of lead it now. We've created an internship. There's 6 active independence dealerships, parts store. So these kids, the seniors, they get to come around and spend 2 weeks in each location, and they rotate through. And so we create a little spreadsheet of things that we want them to accomplish when they're in our facility, and that happens as they make the loop. And then at the end of the year, we have a little banquet for them. But, you know, I'm also doing some other things with local community colleges that have auto programs. And also I've got to be principal of the day at another local high school, which is a community effort, 29 schools. And so I said, I want a high school and I want to get in front of the kids of the trades.
How was it being the principal of the day?
It was amazing to see. Of course, I compared it to our business model, and I was looking at their business model and just how interactive everyone was. I went to one of their continuing ed classes for their teachers, talking about how to deal with students from poverty. And then I had the opportunity to speak to 120 kids that are in the trades. So I spoke to them 60 at a time and in an auditorium. And basically just my message was the trades need you. And this is how to get a job in the trades. And we talked about some of the basic interview skills.
So you're a big fan of Mike Rowe, I bet. And I bet you're out there telling that message.
Mike Rowe was on the screen. That's we had his video with Bill Maher. It's like a 7-minute on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, take a look. But I'm a huge Mike Rowe fan. What he does every day on social media and the message he's preaching to the trades, we couldn't have a better spokesperson. Absolutely.
Excellent. Kris, you're a big believer in associations, and you just recently spoke about that, and I love what you're doing with schools. What else are you doing to reach out inside the community?
On our 40th anniversary, we gave away a car. We totally did a renovation. We had a customer donate a car and as a project, and then we completely went through it. And then we asked for some assistance in the community to help us find that person. So we put that in someone else's hands. We presented the car at our 40th, and that was pretty amazing. As far as most of our marketing is done through our community is less than 30,000. So we do a lot of car shows. We do a lot of gift certificates, a lot of bazaars, et cetera. That's where we get involved.
Profitability and marketing. You told me that those are great challenges inside our industry.
Yes. Profitability is something that just kicks me in the kneecaps every day, trying to figure out, you have this ceiling that we're undervalued as a business. The consumers have trouble finding value in our profession. I think that is on the change. We're on the mend there. But it's taking conversations like this, and it's taking, we talk about tech shortages all the time. Well, is your business, is it attractive? Do you have systems in place? Is it organized? Those things affect profitability, and those things affect who's going to come into the business. And I think we need to have a good hard look at that. I've made every effort to have our shop be as clean and as organized and as professional as possible. That's where the the associations come into play. Mm-hmm. Networking, getting out there with other professionals. So many people say, why do I want to join that association? What's it going to give me for $200 or $300 or whatever the magic association fee is? Mm-hmm. It's not going to give you anything, but if you pay attention to it and you get out and you network, that takes work to meet people and learn. It's huge. What are your greatest profitability challenges inside the company? Again, there's a ceiling on what you can charge. The uneducated business owner and shop that is not getting out and networking doesn't get outside of their own business. They don't know what they don't know, and they are giving stuff away. I have that concern across the board, and I don't think they really understand what it costs for them to sell a part or to sell an hour of labor, and that's where we struggle as an industry. The knowledge and education of knowing what something costs you to sell is imperative. And half of us know, half of us don't know. Some of us don't want to know. So we have this mixture.
Some of us don't want to know. That's a mouthful right there.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I've seen it. Total denial.
Yeah. And so when you go to market and you're presenting parts and labor, as we all do, doesn't matter what you're out there doing. Well, so and so's got it for $30 less, and that's profitability in that. You don't walk into a doctor's office or to a dentist and go, hey, I need to get this tooth filled. How much is it? And well, I can get it down the street for $10 less. Our industry is. We've done it to ourselves, though.
Isn't it amazing how we justify the cost of our dentist? I go to a great dentist, and he treats me well. But every time I sign the check, I think about it was a lot of money, but I got this incredible piece of value. It was just not only the work that was done; it was the experience. It's, I so equate what's going on with. At least, a boomer's teeth and the importance of keeping them
yes,
to the importance
absolutely.
of maintaining your car and keeping it.
Absolutely. It's grills and wheels. I have a good friend that's a dentist, and we talk about that a lot. And our business model is not too different. It's except he has respect and value. Our consumers give that to that industry.
Yeah.
Not so much to ours.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the greatest points, and it kind of leads me into this marketing concern that you have as a challenge in our world today. So is it marketing your business, or is it just getting the right story out?
If you ask me the next question is, what do you struggle with the most? What's your hardest thing? And that's the marketing piece. And I there's some guys that I know that are so good at they know the combinations. And I scratch my head at this every year when I put a budget together and I look at how I'm going to market the business. I feel like I'm putting a blindfold on and throwing at a dartboard that I don't really know where the dartboard is. And I do things that the industry tells me that's the right thing to do.
But you're not seeing the return.
No, I mean, our business is growing. We're every year has been, as an improvement, but, for the dollars that I'm spending on marketing, I don't know. Maybe I'm not spending enough. I don't know.
Maybe not. Give me an idea of what you're doing.
Well, of course, the website, driving people to that with different things, social media and Facebook. And then again, the local effort. We use a company called MechanicNet that uses our email addresses to send reminders to our customer base and things that are coming up based on their mileage to help remind them of preventive maintenance. So yeah, that's pretty much our circle of marketing.
Is your business growing every year?
It is.
So your marketing may be working.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I think I'm frustrated at that marketing piece, and I keep the networking of being around other dealers, listening to the show and others. I keep listening for that golden nugget. I don't know.
Well, we have a town hall coming up in a few weeks, and I'm not sure when your episode is going to go out, but it's all about websites and creating traffic. It may be perfect for you. And
I will definitely be tuned in.
Great. So you told me that you had a really good move for your team by scheduling weekly meetings.
Carm, that's something that I picked up about 3 years ago. I was being consulted, and they asked me, said, "Are you doing weekly meetings, monthly meetings, any meetings?" And my answer was occasional meetings, and I didn't really have a date on that. They said get into the weekly meetings. It's a great piece for communication. So 3 years ago we started Tuesdays at 7:30. We have a 20-minute meeting, and I always have something prepared. There's so much to talk about, but I've started having other members of the team lead that meeting, and we talk about safety. We talk about process. And on this show, culture has been a big big thing that you guys have talked about.
Yeah.
So about 6 months ago, I asked the question. I said, everybody in the room knows what culture is. And 2 of the 10 raised their hand, and they could honestly tell me. The rest of the guys could not really define what culture was. So we spent the next 4 or 5 weeks talking about culture and what that means. And, basically it's our MO, our personality, it's our makeup, it's how we go to market. And so now I think you could ask that question safely to anybody on our team, and they could tell you who we are.
Is building the right corporate culture having a real big difference in the company?
Well, I think yes. The answer to that is definitely yes. It follows the same. You can have financial goals. I think you have to have personal goals. And this gets everybody on the same page. When everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, but better yet, why are they supposed to be doing that? Why are we moving in this direction? Why are we shifting things the way that we're shifting them? And it's in response to our market and what our market's asking for. But yes, definitely knowing that culture, understanding it inside and out is paramount.
Excellent. Mentoring. You and I talked a little bit about mentoring. What are you doing?
I got a quick story to share with you about mentoring. In 2000, I started making a transition. I wanted to get into the service business. I wanted to see my business model be more 50-50 tires and service. It was 90-10. I'm a tire guy from way back, as we discussed. So I went to a meeting with Kelly Bennett leading it in Raleigh in 2000, and there was 70 people in the room. He quickly found me as the dumb tire guy, and I always like to be in the bottom third of any room because I gained the most experience. And I was number 70 in that room that day, and it was the best experience of my life because he tore me to shreds, and it was my labor rate was low, and I was doing everything wrong. I didn't know what to do, It was good. So that the point of that is that in that room there was a guy sitting around the table from me by the name of James Allen. James owns a business called Auto Protocol in Chapel Hill, and he and his team were in there. He had 2 or 3 service advisors, and the questions they were asking and the answers that they were presenting, I identified him as this guy's going to be my mentor. He didn't know it yet, but we hit it off. We both ride motorcycles, and a friendship devolved, and he's a big 20 group guy. And so I kind of saddled up to James, and we took a liking to each other, and we're still friends today. And just he really helped me in a lot of ways.
So you have a mentor. Do you have a coach?
I've had several.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had several coaches.
Did they make the difference?
Oh, gosh, yes. Yeah, I mean, you can't do this without being coached or going to – you have to reach outside of yourself. And right now I'm in the market for another.
What's the biggest value that you've received from a coach?
Probably most recently is understanding that processes and systems have to be in place. That allows a successful track for everyone. That way, everybody in the business knows what the next step is, where that paper is going to go next, how it comes out, how it goes in. That's been the biggest thing.
It's the only way you can scale.
It's the only way you can scale. It is, and I think we have modeled our business, and I don't have any desire to duplicate it. One location, I'm a one location guy. I'm happy with that. But I think, I know I could take my business model to 1,000 if I wanted to.
Wow, cool, neat thinking.
Yeah.
Hey, do you trust your gut?
Yes, I do trust my gut.
What's it helped you do?
Not sleep, that's for sure. My gut wakes me up at 2:30 or 3 in the morning.
I was going to ask that question.
You said, "Hey, Kris, before we go on, why don't you exercise?" So I've been on the trainer since 4 this morning. So.
Oh, I see. It woke you up, basically
No.
way against your will.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, would Dad be proud of you right now?
There's so many times I hear him in my head. Yeah, I think he would be very proud. I'd love to invite him into a day in the life right now. I recently I found an old photo from the days at the service station that the newspaper had taken. It was saved. My mom had it. And I sent it off and had it blown up to this wrapped canvas photo that now we hang behind the counter. And it's just beautiful, black and white. And it's got my dad and 3 of his employees standing there. And you can see signs of the 70s all in that photo.
Wow.
And so people walk up to that thing all the time. So, yeah, I get reminded. I walk by him every day. Yeah.
Are you especially hard on yourself?
Of course, yeah. I think it's. I look at this business, and I think everybody that I've listened to on this podcast, we share that, and it's that becomes comforting to hear other shop owners to know that you're not the only one that's constantly beating your head against the wall. Yeah.
What's holding you back right now, Kris?
Me. Just me, and I get in my own way. It's trying to.
Well, and why do you let that happen?
Well, I think we're all afraid of failure. I don't want to fail, so I keep things tight, and sometimes I got the wrong wall pulled too tight, and so yeah, I'm very hard on myself, and. Somehow that equates to not failing. I don't know if that's the right equation. But
Yeah. Hey, are you living the good life?
I am enjoying life. I think I have done a really good job at finding balance in life. We've made some changes in the business over the past 10 or 12 years to facilitate that. I think it's so important as a shop owner to have other interests, have other hobbies, and have a way to funnel stress and funnel. You just get your mind out of the game, because when you do, things happen. Good things happen.
Hey, what was the best decade?
This is the best decade.
Right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah, this is good times. This is good times. I just wish it hadn't. It's not taken so long for me to make some of the most recent changes.
No regrets, though.
No regrets. No, you learn at your own pace. You move at your own pace. And, I'm a slow learner.
Hey, have you ever owned your own dream car, or have you ever driven it?
Yes, I have. I've had a 911, and I've had a lot of cars. That's a weakness. Cars and motorcycles. I'm a gearhead, so yeah.
That's right, motorcycles. Wait a minute, you just prompted me to say you're a biker.
Yeah, I am. There's 2 different types of bikers. There's pirates and pterodactyls. Do you know the difference?
No, I don't.
Okay, so that's the pterodactyl is the European rider, which I happen to be. I have a BMW GS adventure bike, and so we look like pterodactyls, very, very modern technical clothing. And the pirates, nothing against the pirates, but they are riding the Harleys and got their feet in front of them, and hair's blowing in the wind. It's a whole different lifestyle. So that's I think there's two different riders, and so I get the question. So you enjoy bikes? What kind of Harley do you have? And that assumption always gets this conversation going.
I'm a pterodactyl. I love that analogy. I'm not a biker, obviously, so you just taught me something new. Yeah, I got my new learning piece of the day. Wow,
That's right. Yeah, inside biker story.
Very good. Hey, what's your favorite place in the world?
I really love the Rockies. I love the Midwest. I spent a lot of summers tooling around out there. Spent winters skiing. I think our country's beautiful. I've had the chance to travel abroad some. I really love the U.S. The West Coast is gorgeous as well.
Hey, I've had a blast. Would you come back?
Absolutely, man. This has been fun. Has been fun.
I appreciate it. Very, very transparent, very honest, forthcoming. I appreciate your great stories. I'm sure there's more to tell someday. But one last request: share some great words of wisdom.
The more you learn, the more you figure out you don't know. Use your showroom and your tile space. That's your own personal lab. So all of us that are working here in this business, you talk to a lot of different people from all different walks of life. Man, over the past 30 years, they have taught me so much. And I walk out every night and I look at that floor and I go, that's not a showroom, that's a lab. And I think people in this business that deal with people day in and day out can really see into others. And I think it's a gift. So just be aware of that. And, you tend to always associate that with the squeaky wheel or the guy that's not happy. But our customers, our employees, some of the greatest people on the earth.
Great insight. Wow.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for being on the show, Kris.
Carm, I've absolutely loved it. Thank you for the invitation. I feel honored to be a part of such a great group of folks you've had here. I look forward to keeping on, spreading the word.
Hey, you brought a lot of great ideas. Thanks again, man.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Kris Munro, for paying it forward and sharing your business insights and remarkable results. Now, you must get the tour of his driver's lounge. Go to remarkableresults.biz/E205 and find the link and additional show notes on Kris. And thank you for joining us and your support of the podcast. I know you're finding a treasure trove of wisdom in the archives of more than 205 episodes. Now, if you have any questions or comments, email me at carm@remarkableresults.biz or head over to the contact page on the website. Now, please share this content-rich resource with your friend. There's a lot to go around. It's easy. Email the episode link, share my Facebook page, Twitter account, or LinkedIn connection. The richness grows because you help ripple the water. Hey, I'm grateful and thankful for your support. Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from another inspiring aftermarket professional. Until next time.